This week on LSMN Overtime, we'll be looking at Flower Mound's renowned training program, a cross-country star, and added renovations to the LHS golf locker room. Thanks for tuning in to this spring season of LSMN Overtime. I'm Tori Stevens. We just finished last week with winter weather, which meant all Friday night games were postponed. This made for a busy start to the week with games being played on both Monday and Tuesday nights. Let's get right into some basketball action. On Monday night, Marcus boys hosted Lewisville. The Marauders entered the game second place in district, while the Farmers were fifth. William Curtis started the Farmers off with a three-pointer from the corner. Marcus Dallas Dudley had a great dish to freshman Jaden Remnan for a nice corner three. Senior center Elijah Walker had a nice putback, and the Farmers led 10-7 in the first quarter. In the second, LHS continued to be aggressive, with the steal and the layup by Landon Brown. Cameron Norman played tough down low, but Marcus was able to cut the lead, and the Farmers led by 1 at halftime. In the third, Dudley and the Marauders were coming back. Check out this acrobatic move by Dudley in the paint. That's a great shot. The game shifted as Marcus lined up on defense. The Marauders win easily and take down the Farmers 52-39. We'll have more from the Marcus boys team when we talk to Coach Rogers later in the show, turning to Tuesday night scores. Capel beat Flower Mound 34-32. Marcus faced off against Plano East, winning 61-51. Lewisville snuck away with the win against Hebron 47-44. In the men's basketball standing, Plano is running away with the district standing undefeated at 12-0, followed by 9-3 Marcus and 6-6 Lewisville. On the girls' side, LASD schools are falling in the standings, with only Hebron being playoff eligible at 8-6. Capel won against Flower Mound 50-34. Plano East dominated against Marcus 68-29. Hebron beat Lewisville 46-27, and the Colony had a close game against Denison, losing 62-56. A group that is normally unnoticed and behind the scenes is getting some well-earned recognition. Brody Lewis has a story from Flower Mound.
Student trainers are a big part of high school sports, tending to the needs of players while rarely ever seeing the spotlight themselves. However, this year, the Flower Mound student trainers are getting some well-deserved attention. They are one of 12 North Texas schools to be nominated for the Student Trainer Program of the Year award.
And it's really an honor for our kids because they really are the ones that put in the hard work and the effort and show the care that they want to give to the athletes and the kids here at Flower Mound High School. So it's just an honor to be nominated, so it's good stuff for them.
It makes me feel proud because a lot of the stuff we do is kind of behind the scenes and not acknowledged, so it feels like what we're doing actually matters.
We feel like all the hard work and all the hours that we have put in has really paid off to see such a prestigious award that we could win.
It's really nice to be able to get the recognition for what we do and how many hours we put in, and just to kind of be recognized is really cool.
Even though the spotlight is nice, the Flower Mound High School student trainers love helping athletes back on their feet, even if it's in the shadows.
Some of these athletes, they're at some of their lowest points up to date, and just being that friendly face and just that helping hand is really fun and really awesome.
You know, it's a job that not many people want to do. You're not going to find very many high school kids that want to be behind the scenes and help others reach their goals when really there's no athletic goal for them there besides just seeing the team succeed.
The winning school will be announced on Dave Campbell's Twitter account. For LSMN Overtime, this is Brody Lewis.
Here's to soccer. On Monday, the Hebron Lady Hawks went up against Capel's Cowgirls. In the first half of the match, Taylor Cheatham scored for the Hawks, followed by another goal, this time from junior Ariana Jemison, with an assist from Eleanor Hayes. Later on, Eleanor Hayes feeds the ball to junior Ariana Jemison for the score. The Hawks were up 2-0 going into halftime. In the second half, the Cowgirls came back with a vengeance. Senior Renetta Vargas scored for Capel with the help of an assist by Tabitha Sine. Meanwhile, the Hawks' Sydney Yapik scored an insurance goal in the last 10 minutes of the game, sealing their win. Hebron downed Capel 3-1. Meanwhile, over at Lewisville, the Lady Farmers hosted the Plano Wildcats in a district matchup. Both teams came into the game looking for their first district win. Lewisville was in search of some momentum to start off the match, but with the Lady Wildcats looking good on offense all night, it was a struggle to keep them away from their own net. This led to Plano scoring their first goal with 27 minutes left in the first half. Lewisville had some chances of scoring later on in the half by having a few shots on goal, but Plano's defense was on point, keeping the score where it was to the end of the half. The Lady Wildcats had the momentum heading into the second half and showed that by pursuing the Farmers' defense. The score stayed the same until Plano scored again with 13 minutes left in the game. Lewisville's counterattack was their best part of their game, but great goalkeeping by Plano denied LHS. The Farmers fell short to Plano 2-0. The Farmers now sit at 0-3 in district play. Flower Mound won against Plano West 2-0. Hebron and Marcus tied 1-1. Capel dominated Lewisville 7-1, and the Colony destroyed Sherman 9-0. Lewisville defeated Capel 3-1. Plano West narrowly beat Flower Mound 4-3, and Marcus beat Hebron 3-1. The Colony tied with Sherman High School 3-3. Before we move away from soccer, we want to highlight a standout Hebron soccer player. Here's Alex Salazar with this week's Spotlight.
Thanks, Tori. We were just showing her highlights from Monday night. This week's Spotlight goes out to Taylor Cheatham, a forward for the Lady Hawks. Cheatham has scored 7 goals in the last 6 games and is averaging just over a goal per game this season. She has also picked up 2 assists. Cheatham and the Lady Hawks have won 9 out of the last 11 games and have been dominating the competition. Hebron is currently 5th in the state this year. Keep an eye out for Taylor and the high-scoring Lady Hawks this Friday as they travel to Plano and take on the Lady Wolves. For LSMN Overtime, I'm Alex Salazar. Back over to Tori at the sports desk.
In December, Flower Mound cross-country runner Natalie Cook won a pair of national titles. Cook placed first overall at the Jarman Running Lane Cross Country Championships with one of the fastest 5,000 meter times in high school cross country history and a new personal record of 16 minutes and 4 seconds. Not even a week later, she became the first female from Texas to win the East Bay National Cross Country Championships. All the success has led to Cook receiving the Gatorade National Girls Cross Country Runner of the Year. This is a well-deserved award as she was recorded with the largest winning margin while running the second fastest 5K ever at state. Cook will be running at Oklahoma State. Let's take a look over at LHS where we'll check out their new locker room. Here's Bertine Rodriguez with the story.
Here at LHS, the golf team received their first ever indoor facility to practice in.
Recently, we were given access to an old locker room, and we have converted it into an amazing indoor facility for our golf program.
The new locker room improvements are actually really good compared to what it was before. We actually have our own space to practice inside whenever the weather's bad like today. The best features personally for me is the nets dividing the players from hitting each other in the back in the hitting bays.
Having an indoor facility has been a long-time dream of Coach Lowry's. The players really appreciate the new improvements.
They're very excited and about the opportunity. They realize that this was a long time coming. This was a goal of mine when I came here 5 years ago, trying to find a space and a home for the golf team.
The biggest improvement, I believe, is the simulators that we got. We installed those, and honestly, I think it's pretty great because we can actually use that new technology to see what we need to improve in our swing and our shots. So I think that's pretty amazing. When it's bad weather, we don't have to depend on the weather outside, and then we can also stay here longer. We don't have anyone bothering us. We can actually focus on our work.
The players are excited for what the future holds in this new facility. Reporting for LSMN Overtime, I am Bertine Rodriguez.
This week on Coach's Corner, we're talking Marcus basketball. Here's DJ with our guest.
Thanks, Tori. I'm DJ Friction, and I'm here with Shane Rogers of Marcus Boys Basketball. Now, Coach, your team has had a great season so far. How have you coached the guys throughout the season?
Well, if anybody knows me, one, they know I'm going to coach them hard, and so we talk about from top to bottom in our program that we're going to coach, the sons or the individuals hard with intensity, but also love them hard, and so we try to keep family type of environment that has some fun in it, but also a sense of accountability. And so far that's been really good for us this year.
Tough love always seems to be a great way to go. You guys are currently sitting at second place in the district. How do you expect the team to perform going into the playoffs in a couple weeks?
Yeah, we are. We're sitting second at 7-3 through the first 10 games of district. We've had a couple of injuries, some minor injuries that hopefully won't affect that positioning in district. We're trying to sprint into the playoffs, not limp into it. And so the next 4 games are going to really kind of set the tone for what we can do in the playoffs. But I do think our goal has always been to build on the previous year. And we've done that the first 4 years. This is my 4th year at Marcus, and we've done that every year. And so I know our guys are really kind of set in that vision to do that, and that would be to take us to the 3rd round of playoffs this year. So, our guys definitely have a big goal, and I think they can do it.
Seems like you have a great outlook. Luke Smith has been doing great this season, scoring about 15 points per game. How do you game plan around a player on a hot streak like this?
Yeah, Luke has definitely been one of the anchors to our team this year, as he's one of our 2 captains. Luke, unfortunately, last game had a little bit of an injury, an ankle injury, and so he won't be playing for us. Maybe not this week at all. And so that's going to cause other guys to step up. And I think other teams definitely plan for Luke and plan accordingly, depending on what they want to do. So now it's going to kind of be a little bit different look for teams with, since we don't have them. And so kind of interested to see how teams attack us, both offensively and defensively without Luke this week.
Great to hear you have kids that will step in. This Friday, your game with district rival Flower Mound. How are you and your team feeling going into this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big game for both sides. Obviously the rivalry in Flower Mound, and then for us, to maintain the second seed in district. Flower Mound's always a tough game, and Eric Littleton does a great job over there with his guys. And you gotta maximize possessions against Flower Mound. They do a good job of maximizing their possessions offensively and making sure that they get points, and then they try to muck it up a little bit on defense, with the zone. And so we got to shoot it well like we did last time, and like I said, maximize those offensive possessions.
All right, well, thank you for your time, Coach. Back to you, Tori.
Make sure to check out this week's LSMN Game of the Week broadcast this Friday, February 11th, showcasing a basketball game where Lewisville High School goes up against Plano West. You can watch the game live right here at LASD AV Productions around 7:30 p.m. That's all the sports news for this episode. Join us next episode for more information on what's happening with sports around the district. I'm Tori Stevens, and thanks for watching LSMN Overtime.